be stagnant. I got way too much ambition. I keep on beating statistics. How would I be denied? My only option is winning. I'm crossing the finish line. I am the greatest. Nothing can stop me now. The time has come for me to take my crown. I am a champion. No one can slow me down. The world is mine. Once I cross the finish line, I'm number one. I put myself in a place where nothing can top me. I feel like I'm space. It's bigger than profit, but still I get paid. My thinking colossal, not minimum wage. Talk to the loss like I know the way. Stay on my job like who need a break? It was impossible. I heard them say, but I'm like MacGyver to all my mistakes. Running back home, now look at the bases. Been winning so long, I feel like a native. I got what you want, but you cannot take it. I do what you don't, cause I'm more creative. I put me on, no help for your favors. I'm breaking the mold to show you the flavors. I got control, you can't enable. I'm using my flaws to make me the greatest. I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one. Yeah, I'm number one. 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 Yeah, I'm number one. I'm number one. I am the greatest. Nothing can stop me now. The time has come for me to take my crown. I am a champion. No one can slow me down. The world is mine. Once I cross the finish line, I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one. Yeah, I'm number one. I cross the finish line, I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one. Yeah, I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one.
Believe you'll see it all comes together. My dream, I bleed, I'll give the better part of me. Be free, break free, release, destroy the enemy. Just breathe. Fight for the power. Stand your ground, don't let it go. Fight for the power. Can't be scared when you're in the dark. You should never let the fear make you run away. Fire still burning for another day. Fight for the power. I get the one.
Oh, he's got another one! He's got another one!
Oh, wow. As that ball bounces across the middle, he is onside.
Strong last 4 minutes of the first half. Pause.
Let's go. Hey, when we get the ball back, punish them.
Your choice, your fall, your prison. Make no mistake, I'm your friend. Made from the 1,000 giants. I live a little danger. Ain't no
In traffic with the and one. Going right, passing left. There's a touchdown pass to Strickland.
raise your flag or even the score. Take your shot,
Mayfield breaks the tackle, stiff arm. Charm off. 1 second.
If I do it, then I'm doing it to death, oh yeah. I'm influencing the ones that do it best, oh yeah. Started moving with the crew, you got a few, we got a slew. We trying to do what they said that we couldn't do, oh yeah. I ain't living with regrets, ain't no limits, ain't no rest. They want money, power, respect, I want more, I wanna be blessed, We want the legacy, we got the hope and we bring in the remedy. Working it steadily, we want the glory, we want the blessing. If I do it, I'ma do it for the glory.
You are looking live at the majestic DeVos Fieldhouse on the eastern edge of Hope College, the little school by the inland sea, on a beautiful snow-kissed Saturday afternoon in Holland, Michigan. And inside, as cold as it is out there, warm and cozy it is inside of the DeVos Fieldhouse, where we are set for MIAA women's basketball action. The host, Hope College Flying Dutch, taking on the Bells of St. Mary's College. My name is Scott Vanderstoop. I'm joined by my broadcast partner from football, the voice of Hope College men's basketball, the voice of the Grand Rapids Gold, and my dear friend Mike Coleman. And to start the broadcast, Mike, as Jake Elwood said to Matt Guitar Murphy, we got the band back together.
I have not seen you since November. How you been?
At the lacrosse game, right? We broadcast the lacrosse playoff game.
You're right.
The Wisconsin lacrosse.
Not unlike today, quite snowy and pretty much the same conditions, but we were not inside. We were pseudo inside that time.
That's right.
But this is much nicer. Scott, thanks so much for joining me today. Hope trying to go for the sweep today. We saw the men defeat Alma in a nice effort to remain undefeated in conference, and Hope women come in number 11 in the nation. Their lone loss in conference against Trine, which they will see again, but a chance to really keep things going, as they've had some great success over the last few years against St. Mary's, their opponent today.
A sweep for Hope basketball today, as well as a sweep for the Dutch over the Bells, as they vanquished St. Mary's on the road by 40-plus points early on. It's one of those days where I think Coach Morehouse wants to make it a statement game, because it's a league, to be honest, of Big 3 and Little 6 right now. And they are part of the big three, Hope, Calvin, and Trine. But what's interesting is with Calvin's early season injuries and other things, now Alma is all of a sudden emerging as possibly in third place. And so Calvin lost again today. We want Calvin to beat Trine on Wednesday, as that is the only loss in the league for the Dutch. But I think it's a game that if they play fake 4 quarters, it'll be a lot like it was in South Bend. But you got to play it. And I will say this about St. Mary's, and we'll have some other things to say, but they have won more games. They have won as many games today, Mike Coleman, as they did the entire season last year. So this is clearly a turnaround. Their head coach has experience from Trine University, so he's well schooled. He knows basketball. He knows Indiana basketball, and he has the potential to build something here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that Hope is heavily favored in this one. Just 2 losses on the year. St. Mary's comes in at 6-10, but I like St. Mary's. Rob Hoffman in his second year, coming off on a 4-win season last year in conference. But, you know, he brings back a lot of weapons. He's got the Restovich twins in this game. He's got a freshman in Liv Fry, so there's a lot of returning components for a team who at times have been in a lot of games. Now, their numbers and records don't indicate it, but they have played some pretty consistent basketball and competitive basketball. We're going to keep it here, but listen to the playing of the singing of the national anthem, and we'll also listen to the starting lineups.
Singing of our national anthem. Please welcome Hope College's own Mr. Matt Johnson and Mr. Kyle Spiegel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hope College looking to remain unbeaten at the DeVos Fieldhouse this year. We are ready for the introduction of the starting lineups, turning that over to the public address announcer and the voice of Hope College basketball, Mr. Darren Deistermars.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DeVos Fieldhouse here in the campus of Hope College for today's MIAA contest between the Bells of St. Mary's and your Hope College Flying Dutch. Here this afternoon, starting lineups. First for St. Mary's at 1 forward, a 5'8" sophomore from Crystal Lake, Illinois, number 11, Ella Notaro. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutch, a 5'10" senior from Byron Center, number 25, Sydney Viss. At 1 forward for St. Mary's, a 5'7" junior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 14, Annie Restovich. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutch, a 6'1" sophomore from Hudsonville, number 34, Maddie Petrulia. Starting at center for St. Mary's, a 5'10" sophomore from Grand Rapids, number 5, Kate Hassanoff. And at center for the Flying Dutch, a 6'2" sophomore from DeWitt, number 20, Leah Richards. At one guard for St. Mary's, a 5'7" junior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 2, Kate Restovich. And at one guard for the Flying Dutch, a 6' sophomore from DeWitt, number 10, Anna Richards. And at the final guard spot for St. Mary's, a 5'5" freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 4, Liv Fry. And at the final guard spot for the Flying Dutch, a 5'8" junior from Grand Rapids, number 22, Taryn Maynard. St. Mary's is coached by Rob Hoffman. Hope College is coached by Brian Morehouse. Your officials this afternoon, Don Slater, Bruce Walterhouse, and Claire Borsheim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darren Deistermars. We are all set. Twins against twins. Bells against Dutch. MIAA rivals hitting the court here on a snowy Saturday afternoon. We are ready to go. Hope College looking to stay near the top of the MIAA. Just a game behind the Trine Thunder. And we are ready to go. And here with the tip-off is my broadcast partner and skilled professional and lover of sweet treats, I found out at the commercial break, Mr. Mike Coleman.
That 2 out of the 3 are true. I love sweet treats, that's for sure. Thank you, Scott Vanderstoop, and Hope comes in with a record of 13-2, 6-1 in conference. St. Mary's 6-10, 1-6. As Hope has won the last several meetings, the 35 straight over the Bells, and this is their 78th meeting. And the second of 2 games this year is a nice steal by St. Mary's. Good poke away. St. Mary's lost handily, Scott, in the game a while back against Hope, but the St. Mary's had a 15-14 lead at the end of the first quarter back on December 6th, but then Hope took care of business as Sydney Viz takes care of business for the first basket.
Good start for the Dutch.
And a nice steal by Anna Richards. Over to Viz. Just a nice balanced team. Maynard, 3-ball corner pocket, missed it short. Trying for the offensive rebound, but clearing is St. Mary's into the arms of Kate Restovich.
How about this, Mike? The Restovich girls, the Restovich twins, top 2 in minutes for the Bells. The Richards women, top 2 in minutes for the Dutch.
Can't make that stuff up. How many times do we get to call twins on both sides of the basketball?
Well, that's the least of Coach Rob's concerns right now.
That's true.
As he is in fourth quarter form right now, as he was a little upset early on.
That is a fact. Rob Hoffman, like you mentioned, Scott, longtime assistant coach at Trine for 7 years, so you know he learned a thing or two. Much respected coach, taking on a program that really has scuffled. They've had periods quite a while ago where they were very successful, but not really, not lately for St. Mary's.
How fun was that when I was just a spectator and a fan. I guess I was a dean at the time, but to travel down and hang out with you and Coleman, you and Chandler, and I think I even got to carry your bag one night coming out of the game.
Well, that's because I was just coming off double knee replacement. I probably couldn't lift 8 pounds. 3-ball on the way and dropping that one down. Notaro, the sophomore out of Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Big bucket.
By the way, thanks for that. And for Notaro, almost 11 points a game, a steal leader last year for this St. Mary's squad, who gives up 73 a game. They score 67. Kind of in the middle of a pack as far as MIAA numbers. This working away in the key, tries to muscle it up. She's going to the line. Oh, check it. It's going to be a jump ball.
I thought that was pretty good defense by the secondary defender, and was able to tie it up. Good legal guarding position, and the ball will go back to the Bells.
Kate Passano, the sophomore out of Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Great basketball program with the tie-up.
And a great basketball family there. Lots of Passano kids in my generation, and I suspect that Kate is a daughter or uncle to many of the kids I remember growing up and battling against at that great school, Grand Rapids Catholic Central.
I would think absolutely direct relation and descendants for sure. Foul on Maynard, and that'll prompt activity off the Hope bench as Lauren Leach, the senior out of Angola, Indiana. Speaking of, she could have gone to Trine, and she took her talents north of the border.
And we are happy for it.
And Josie DeSmith, the freshman out of Hudsonville. Younger sister of Casey, if you remember Casey DeSmith a couple years ago, the Strong Eagles program.
And at one point, well, I haven't been up there in a year or two, but was helping Katie Kowalczyk, the head coach at Grand Haven, and assistant for the Grand Haven girls team. Don't know if that's still the case.
Do not know either. Low scoring affair, first of 4 quarters. Hope averaging 76 points a game. That's 17th out of 400 teams in Division III, and they give up just 54.
Lauren Leach just checked in the game. She averages 19 minutes a game, so good rotation. And she'll play a lot She'll play a lot until she doesn't have to, I guess.
Anna Richards, the drop down triple from the corner baseline. 10.5 points for Anna. 39% three-point shooter as a freshman last year, and her first basket gives Hope their biggest lead. And contact down low. Good drive to the basket. I will say this. St. Mary's is getting some penetration.
Drawing contact, Chloe Brunsberg will check in. The junior from Chaska, Minnesota, Southwest Christian High School.
Yeah, Brunsberg's been really solid off the bench. She had a season-high 15 points against Olivet back on the 10th. And all of her games, she's had 70 career games already, just a junior, have been not in the starting rotation, so that's some good offense for Brian Morehouse in her 3rd year now. St. Mary's at the line. Second free throw off the mark, missing that one. Both is Notaro. Very young lineup, 2 juniors, 2 freshmen, and a sophomore in the starting lineup for St. Mary's. Cross court. Brunsberg with the fake, in traffic, good give, and an easy basket. Great slay of hand, and drew in the defense, and a nice basket by Leah Richards, her first.
Richards averages 10.5 a game. They average as a team over 80, and their leading scorer only averages 12. It's an amazing balance. It's the same song, 20th verse, because Brian Morehouse continues to put that kind of team together where they wear you down with depth of talent.
Yes, they do, and you never see a leading scorer in the top 5 or 6 more often than not. Good feed down low. Leah misses the puppy, but a good effort and a good look as Hannah Outlaw checks in the game with the rebound.
Leah Richards did a great job of reading the overplay by the defender. She did that without a screen, and then she missed the layup. Great read, though, and great look.
Absolutely. Lauren Leach, fine senior. She could really be an X factor off this bench. She does a lot of things well. Top side. Kick out. 3 ball on the way. Rims out. Trying to keep it alive offensively is DeSmith. But handling the rebound is Notaro.
Well, early on, Mike Coleman, Coach Hoffman has the Bells playing very high defense, denying on the wings, denying up high, high hands. They're clearly going to challenge Hope to do the kind of back cuts and back screens that Richards was successfully able to read and to pull off. They just need to finish those.
Yeah, absolutely true. If you're contesting that much on the wing, the back cuts will always be your friend for the most part, as St. Mary's coughs it up. Just their second turnover. So sometimes the overplay can be to your disadvantage.
We got some new reporting on the Anchor Network, Mike Coleman. I do believe I see Coach Greg Mitchell being a grandpa over there in the far corner, saying,
right?
Getting a little hug from his grandchild.
You gotta love that.
He looks a lot calmer than he did when I was watching the game earlier on.
It's always nice to get another win under your belt. Timeout on the court. Scott and I will take a breather. 9-5, kind of a sluggish start offensively for both these teams. We'll be back on the Anchor Network.
Are you thinking about buying, selling, or refinancing? Your title agency matters, and you have a choice. Lighthouse Title started in Holland, Michigan more than 20 years ago and has grown to over 45 locations. We are proud to be local in these communities. Visit Lighthouse Title for more information and use our online widget Louis the Lightkeeper to chat with someone today about how we can help you close on your new home.
Welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse. As Mike Coleman said, a little sloppy start early on. The Bells 2 for 7 from the field. The Dutch 3 for 6. 9-5 on the total, but everyone playing hard, but not the cleanest game so far, but we still got 35 more minutes to go.
Indeed, and St. Mary's had their chances. They've missed 3 out of 4 shots in the key. There's an orange half circle underneath their basket. Probably within 5 feet, they've missed 3 of those 4, so they're getting some opportunities. But a couple lapses defensively for some easy looks for Hope, who's shooting 3 of 6. St. Mary's just 2 of 7.
And Hope 2 of 3 on those shots that go down on the shot chart anyway, is inside of the restricted area.
Indeed. 9-5 our score. Hope won the last meeting 82-42 back on December 6th by shooting 51%, and it was a season low in points and field goal percentage for St. Mary's, as they only shot 24%. There's a nice basket by Hope.
Katie Blasey, I think, on that one.
She did. Blasey, the sophomore out of Franklin, Wisconsin, 6'1". Boy, you love that height on Hope's team. They've got 7 players over 6 foot tall. Has thrown up a wild shot as Outlaw. Instant offense off the bench for head coach Rob Hoffman.
17 on the shot clock. They'll trigger it in a little stack, horizontal stack. Well, hold on. We haven't even administered the ball. And then lead referee Don Slater said, okay, people, don't move until we give you the ball.
Liv Fry, who's looking to inbound, said, look, I know I'm a freshman, and I need the basketball in my hand to facilitate this inbound.
I was waiting for a false start, number 4 on the offense.
That's
5-yard penalty.
Well,
repeat first down.
That's right. We only call football until we call basketball. Outlaw. I love her numbers. She's hammered on a hip check. Almost 11 points and 6 rebounds off the bench. She's a Aquinas transfer. Also spent time at Glen Oaks Community College, but she was neutralized in the last game against Hope. She was held scoreless the only time this year she'd been done that.
Katie Blasey picks up that foul as she got tried to beat the player to the spot, but
looked
instead
like a hockey check.
Kind of beat the player to the ground.
That's true. Caught in no man's land is Kate Restovich. Caroline Langworthy, the Cincinnati, Ohio freshman in the game. 7 on the shot clock. Corner 3, short. Good strong rebound by Brunsberg.
4 Dutch in there to rebound, no Bells. They had 1 penetration, but the rest of the folks were around the perimeter. Not a bad strategy, but you got to be able to hit it. You got to be able to move it.
Down low, missing that one. Absolutely true to Smith. Missed it from 5. Hope still up 11-5. Another 3 ball in the corner. Can she connect this time? Tough go as Ella Andre, the sophomore out of Spring Lake, had 2 good looks. Brunsberg had a steam. Backdoor pass into Leah Richards. Perfect. Good vision.
She didn't miss that layup.
No, great vision. Heads up play, 13-5, biggest lead of the day for Hope. Saw the men win earlier, 80-64. Saw the JV men win in the first game over Alma.
It has been a long day for the athletic and support staff.
Yes, it has. Darren Deistermar is the PA extraordinaire, calling his 3rd game. Now we got mass substitutions. Try and get St. Mary's first as Gaddy Webb out of Geneva, Illinois, the freshman in. And who else do we have? I've got a number. I just have to have her turn around just a skosh. There we go. Anna Restovich back in the game, the junior out of St. Louis, Missouri. Cut off, baseline, kick out to Outlaw. She'll try the right elbow 3. Skirts off, rebound Viss. Hope trying to press the pace. Leah, hip check, scores and 1.
How about a big run in the court like that? She goes all 94 and beat everybody down.
It's just the way basketball is now. You get 7-foot guys running the point, shooting the three. Leah Richards, one of the tallest on the team. 6'2" sophomore out of Lansing Catholic. Having a good start to her game. Give her 6 points. As that one rattles out. Hope shooting 6 of 10 on the day, just 2 of 11 for St. Mary's.
Hope in a little zone here.
Yep. Little 2-3. Well, St. Mary's has not proven that they can shoot anything from the outside. They try a 3-ball, too firm. Good box out rebound.
Nice board by Petrulia. That was textbook. That was textbook defensive rebounding. Old school.
Boy, her offense has just taken off. In the last 8 games, she's averaged 13 a game. And how about that? Leah Richards hitting from all areas.
She's going to beat everybody to double figures, I think.
And she's flirting with it right now.
She might beat St. Mary's to double figures. Looks like we got a foul on Hope. That one's going to get logged against Anna Richards.
.12-point lead for the Bells. Long-range 3-ball off the side iron. This is a team that leads the league in 3-point attempts. They're a perimeter team. They have not shown it this afternoon as far as knocking them down. Good 2-foot plant. Good finish in the drop-down basket.
Former men's basketball coach at Calvin used to call that the secondary break. You get it down there, and the defense does a good job of shutting it down. Then all of a sudden you kick it out top, and you either get a quick hitter or you get a quick dribble drive, and that's exactly what happened. Secondary break.
You learn something every broadcast, Stu.
You learn that sometimes I remember stuff.
I forget that you remember stuff.
Well, I was doing the Hope Calvin softball game last spring, and as you know, as the voice of Hope baseball, we don't exactly get the viewership in baseball and softball that we do in football. But I got a nice text during the Hope Calvin softball game. Said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. I didn't even know it was you." And then I found out it was you, and you're still doing okay. So it was good to hear from Coach Vandestreek, who still follows Calvin University sports.
Is that right?
Enough to watch.
All right.
Enough to watch in the middle of the afternoon a Hope Calvin softball match. On the other hand, he is retired, so.
Well, he's got some time on his hands.
Exactly.
Maddie Petrulia with a drop-down triple. Double figures in 7 of her last 8, and Maddie starting to heat up. The heralded transfer out of Chicago, Illinois, Chicago, and another 3-ball this time by St. Mary's. Restovich connects. Hope coughs it up. Little run by St. Mary's. A loft up off the mark by Kate Restovich. 25 seconds left in the first quarter.
That was the second turnover by Hope. Both teams with 2 turnovers.
Petrulia once again rattles out. Contact underneath. We might have a push-off. And I believe that's going to go against Kate Restovich, which it is. Her first, team's 4th. 5 will put you in the bonus.
Yep, they'll do a baseline inbound here. But not until Coach Hoffman shares his reflections on that last call.
His his ruminations
with Don Slater.
That's right.
Don's been doing it long enough. I'm sure he's got an answer for every question.
High window, sold the fake, offensive rebound, put back up. Petrulia, no.
Great
Check
box out by St. Mary's. That was Hannah Outlaw. And a great job by Richards not to create a rebounding foul.
At the buzzer. Is that a three-pointer? Drops in. Trying to get a number on that player. The long hair always gets in the waist too, but a 3-ball nonetheless. That's number 11, Ellie Notaro with the 3-ball.
Great work by our video crew. We got 1 frame in the books. Hope College leads, doubling up the Bells, 22-11. They're going to double check that at the video replay. We'll be back with the final adjudication of that last play. Right after this, you're watching Hope Basketball on the Anchor Network.
Holland BPW is proud to support Hope Athletics and commitment to energy efficiency. It's easy for Holland BPW electric customers to get started with Home Energy 101 at hollandenergyfund.com. With Home Energy 101, learn the best ways to maximize efficiency and save on your utility bills. You also get a kit of energy-saving supplies valued at up to $300. Get started at hollandenergyfund.com today.
How about that for our crack officiating staff? They weren't going to the camera to determine whether it was good or not. They were going to check 2 versus 3. And indeed, they corrected it. It was a 2-point shot at the end. So instead of 22-11, we got 22-10. I'm not sure Coach Huff has been informed of that yet, but we'll see. 22-10.
I think he's got other things to concern himself with, but just 2 players have scored for St. Mary's. Anna Restovich with 6. Ellen Notaro with 5, and 7 have scored for Hope as they have dominated the paint. Scott Vanders do.
12-2. And it would have been 14-2 because there was at least 1 missed basket. But yeah, Hope showing its length, but look at this. St. Mary's off to a quick start on the inbound.
Outlaw, I really like the Cutter Jim, the transfer from Aquinas with the steal and score. Gets her first basket. She's got 3 rebounds already off the bench. She's their primary bench producer. 26 bench points a game for St. Mary's. Trying to claw their way back into this as Anna Richards up top. Gives way to sister Leah. Working around the perimeter, the little arc around, and she finds Purchase off the window.
Liv Fry and Kate Passanal waiting at the scorer's table to check in for the Bells at the next dead ball.
Bells coming off a loss to Alma, a really good Alma team. They lost by 10. They were outscored 43-34 in that second half as Kate Restovich had 20, and Hannah Outlaw, who we see having a good game so far with 12 and 5 rebounds. 3 ball on the way, circles out.
I think the middle of the MIAA on the women's side, Mike, is going to be a battle. You know, we thought it would be kind of Calvin up there. They were picked to be near the top, but they seem to have been faded just a bit, at least early on. So you've got Alma, you've got Calvin, you've got St. Mary's, and so it's you know, I think that the battle for those last 4, 5, 6 spots will be very interesting. They might have to pull out the old manual to figure out which the tiebreakers are, but I think that middle is going to be very clogged by the end of the season because I think some of these teams might beat each other.
Yeah, we were talking in the men's broadcast about who's going to be the disruptor in the conference play this year. And Casey and I were talking about Olivet. Calvin, favored to win the conference, but boy, they've had a rash of injuries. They lost a gal to an ACL injury. And I think teams like Albion, who defeated Calvin today, I did not know they played that early in the game. And Albion now is just a couple games back out of the picture. On the women's side, yes, sir, thank you. So Albion defeated Calvin, who was obviously injured, but you can't overlook the Scots either. They have a solid program, and I think Alma and Albion being the disruptors in the conference, just my humble opinion.
Yeah, good thought. We want to take a chance to thank our crack staff here. They put in a long day. Jacob Knox was on the camera in the first game. I see he's been moved to still photography, his love, but he was helping us out. We've got on the cameras, we got Genesis Lambrick. She's enjoying a little popcorn up there. I see her right now. Wave, Genesis. We got Phil Ortiz, Quinn Vanderkamp, and Esther Queen Coombson. I got 3 students on that list.
How about that?
I'll get the rest of the staff in just a second, Mike. Go ahead.
Scott, you know all the students. Seems like you got 90 students in your classroom, or you've had them at one point or another.
Well, I was actually taking a maternity leave coverage last semester, so I had.
That's true.
151. That was a lot. I mean, eventually you're going to get to know people. When I was dean, I hardly ever knew students. I only knew students who were mad about something. So it was great to be back on the faculty. You get to see students on a regular basis. So.
I want to get back to the maternity leave conversation in a minute, as St. Mary's now employing a zone. Seems like you had a pretty good time doing that.
Had a lot of work, but yeah, I got to meet a lot of students. Don't ask me if I can remember them all. My memory isn't what it used to be.
Good thing I'm wearing a name tag. Good thing you're wearing a name tag.
That's right, Chandler.
That's right.
A missed putback by Lauren Leach, but then she got it again, and then she got the end one. That's
Second
like
time's a charmer.
Restovich picks up the foul, first personal.
Oh, point blank miss. Sorry, Scott.
No, that was Restovich's first foul, first top foul of the quarter. Lauren Leach will do, I believe, what Mike Coleman would call the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, couldn't get it to drop, but Leach with her first basket of the contest, 26-12, Hope in control, trying to win their third straight tip away. Getting a hand on it, I believe, was Katie Blasey.
Taryn Maynard, great job finding her left wing and then got the ball back. She'll dribble middle.
Look at that, just went behind herself on a wide open, but closing quick as Leach had an open for just a second. Credit St. Mary, they're rotating well defensively. Trying to feed inside. 7 on the shot clock. Right elbow skirts off. And a good rebound on the strong side by Passano. 7-12 until halftime. You know, Hope up by 14, Scott, but you really don't feel that Hope has just really got the offense in sync. I mean, really on all cylinders yet.
They haven't, and I think you got to credit the Bells for that. I think they've been, speaking of disruptors, I think they've cut passing lanes down, and I think they've just been very hawkish on defense. And it's just been hard for Hope to do what they do best, which is moving the ball in and out, finding open spots for both short and long-range shots.
Third time for Anna Richards, can't get it to bite, but she draws contact. And you're talking about a St. Mary's defense that's second to last in the league, giving up 73. I think if you're St. Mary's, you got to clog the lane somehow. That's why I like the zone being a good idea. But Hope hasn't shot the three ball very well today, so we'll see how that develops.
They haven't, and I think that the fact that they're playing high on the wings may have something to do with that. You know, maybe you'll see more kind of back screen kinds of things coming forward.
Anna Richards, second team all MIAA last year, averaging 10.5, almost 6 rebounds, fourth in the MIAA at 3 assists per game. She was pretty quiet the first few games, I think to the tune of 8 points a game, and then the last 5 she's averaging 12.5. So, you know, that she doesn't have to average 15, 16. Like you talked about, Scott, the balance year in and year out. You're so deep.
Yeah, they've never had, I think that's one of the reasons they have a hard time, you know, getting MIAA Player of the Year, because, you know, you might get on a team where you average 20 and the next person averages 7, where that's never been the case on a Morehouse team.
No. Nice move inside, was able to elude. Notaro showing a strong first half. Give her 8, 4 for 7 shooting. Rob Hoffman yelling instructions to his Bells defense. Maynard in the backcourt has to give way with 12 on the shot clock. Out to Anna. This trying to weave her way through 3 blue jerseys, and there's a reach-in foul on St. Mary's.
St. Mary's fouls on number 12, Alyssa.
Well, that was probably a foul that could have been avoided. I mean, the shot clock was winding down.
Agreed.
Viz has great body control and ball control, but there were 3 people. She wasn't going to beat 3 people. Nice look by Viz.
But truly a hip check, but able to sideline that one in, and a nice look by Sydney Viz.
Petrulia, one of 3 people in the first game against the Bells who had double figures. Leah Richards with 15, and Chloe Brunsberg had 12.
That was a great effort. And St. Mary's responds. Hope coming off an 84-65 victory Wednesday at Adrian. That's always a tough road trip in the middle of the week. Hope shot the 3-ball well, 40%. Decent from overall field, 45% is Maddie Petrulia. How about 48% for Petrulia this year coming in from deep?
That's one of the reasons they're trying to play a high screen, play up high, goodness. I suspect.
That was her reputation coming as a transfer out of Illinois, was her 3-point prowess last year. Just trying to find her sea legs. But boy, is she really taking advantage of it this year. And Sydney Viss not to be outdone. Sydney with a good stroke from the right wing.
She's got 5 for the day.
95th career game for Sydney Viss.
You mentioned the Adrian trip. I came in to work out on Thursday morning, and she was working the desk at DeVos. And I said, Sid, the kid, welcome back. I said, what time did you get home last night? She said, 12:15 a.m. I said, are you happy that you have made your last trip to Adrian College? And she smiled. She goes, oh, yes. On a Wednesday. That's D3 life right there.
Full disclosure, as checking into the game is Gillian Sorrell, the freshman out of Grand Haven, is trying to find it down low as Leah Richards. It's going to go the other way. Every time the new basketball schedule would come out for Hope, we called men and women's. For men now is just what I do. When I was on the road, I would look to see when we played Adrian and what day we played Adrian. That Wednesday night. And it's always snowing, and there's no highways.
Yep. Can't get there from here.
No. Train doesn't run out of Wichita. Contact down low. We got a jump ball situation that will favor the visiting Bells.
Good tie-up that time by Petrulia coming in as a secondary defender. Look at that. Great work by our camera folks. We want to finish up our, wanted to thank Jake Johnson on a replay, and then our director, Audra Woolman, and then the executive producer, the Ed McMahon to our Johnny Carson, Mr. Steve Secor, turning the dials today.
Nice transition basket. Sorrell with the fast break hoop on a great pass. Yep, thanks to our crew, they're fantastic. And thank goodness it's Christmas break is over, and we've got all the pros back in action. Here's another substitution for Brian Morehouse. Grayson Guy, the Petoskey Northman Jr.
Jillian Sorrell's played in 11 games coming into today's game, hitting a solid 356 from the field and averaged 8.5 minutes over those 11 games.
Yeah, she was one of those heralded freshmen out of Grand Haven to enter the program. Good reverse layup.
That was old school too. Nataro's having a game. I like her game.
Yeah, I do too. Just a solid player. Nataro, Marion Central Catholic.
Outlaw does a nice job out there.
Yeah, on the transfer. Guy, spin move, kick out. Viss, can she drop another 3 down? Had a good look, just missed short. 37-20, St. Mary's is hanging around. Hope shooting 60% in the second quarter, but St. Mary's now shooting 5 of 8 for 63 in the second frame.
Grayson Guys played in 10 games coming out into today. Averaged only 6.4 minutes, but a respectable 37% from the field.
I will say this, Hope has bottled up the rest of his sisters. They combined for 23 points a game. Anna was 6. Kate with no points in this game on a combined 2 of 8 shooting. As Petrulia back in and Viss checking out.
That contact happened up top, but inside the 3-point circle. So that was a pre-shot foul. That'll ball inbound on the baseline.
Petrulia will trigger. DeSmit back in the game, being checked by Kate Restovich. One-hand shovel pass over to Brunsberg. Hook pass in the corner, no look. Petrulia for 3. How about that for just textbook ball movement?
Silky smooth on that follow through.
Maddie 3 for 4. She came in 28 for 70. Having herself an afternoon. Skip pass, stolen. Guy with the interception. Turnover number 6 for the Bells.
Great off-ball defense. Guy recognizing, coming down from the top of the circle area, knew exactly where the offensive player was going to be looking, and she was standing right there. That's like a cover corner right there. Anticipate. And we got a noise other than the official's whistle, or is that my...
No, that's coming from externally from somewhere.
Did we burn the popcorn? I hope we didn't burn the popcorn. It's done. I don't hear it anymore. You know, I was...
what sound is that, Scott?
I don't know. But that reminds me, I was, when I used to do men's basketball, when I was an official in the MIAA, I went down one time and I was doing Trine Calvin, and there was some kind of noise, and air horns are specifically prohibited. So I come in and I said, hey, we got to cut that air horn. And the coach back then, I'm not going to remember his name, but he was a great guy. And he said, I really, Scott, I don't hear an air horn. Like, you're the only one hearing anything. I spent the rest of the season getting so much grief from my officiating partners. Like, hey, Stu, are we going to have an air horn violation tonight? Trying in the air horn. I'll never forget it. It's still too soon to talk about.
Too soon? Did you ever find the mystery sound?
Well, my Kevin Vanderstreek did a few weeks later check. He goes, you know, Stoopy, he says, I think there might have been something. Like, upon further review, I was watching the tape, and I think you might not be hallucinating. So it's always nice to know that. Well, I got that going for me.
I hope he wasn't just trying to placate you, Stoop.
Maybe.
Three-ball, Petrulia. NBA triple try from deep with $1:37 remaining till halftime. What's the farthest away you ever traveled to call a college basketball game?
Yeah, you know, I was a driver, not a flyer. I never did anything above NAIA Division III, so like Fort Wayne,
okay,
Indiana Tech, St. Francis. But, you know, on a Wednesday night and 4 inches of snow, U of M Dearborn seems like it might as well be. I never worked the GLIAC. I mean, those GLIAC guys are crazy. They go up north. I used to tell them, it's like, why are you doing this? Like, you could get to Nashville, Tennessee as fast as you could get to Marquette, Michigan.
Fact. Yeah, we got to give him Michigan Tech. At least give me a doubleheader for crying out loud. Nice three ball by Anna Restovich. Give her 9. Yeah, that is a war of attrition. I remember driving up to call Finlandia Hope football and calling the game outside. Thank you, Finlandia. In a driving sleet, 38 degrees. My wife was feeding me coffee and hot chocolate mix. They were new to the MIAA. Didn't last long. They didn't have any room for broadcasters. Three ball on the way.
That's why they dropped football. They didn't have a big enough press box.
Because I was upset. That was miserable. I've called a lot of games outside, but they didn't even have a back tarp to get the westerly wind off the back of my neck. It was brutal. And you got $5,000 worth of broadcast equipment. I mean, I don't care about me. Just save the Comrex. But I digress. 41-26. Feet inside the guy. Push off.
Yep,
and that's an offensive foul.
Great defense there by the Bells. I believe taking the chuck on that one was Kate Passanalt.
She did, yeah. And you know what a difference back-to-back three balls makes. It's a 6-point swing. You're within striking distance, but Hope just wears you down. They just wear you down with 10-11 off the bench.
And remember, they will not have logged as many minutes as the Bells starters, so they will get tired faster, will St. Mary's, because Hope has been able to rest their players.
That is absolutely true. Hope had to take it down to the wire like St. Mary's is. Three ball on the way, and Rob Hoffman wanted that one.
That would have made a difference. That would have gotten everyone's attention.
41-26, but a nice 6-point run as Hope is held scoreless for the last $1:43 of the first half. A little momentum builder for St. Mary's. A couple numbers before we take to the break. 53% shooting for Hope, 16 of 30, 5 of 11 from deep, and St. Mary's improved a lot, especially in the second quarter where they shot 54% and now 37% overall. Still trying to find the three-point touch at just 4 for 15. Any numbers that stick out, Scott, before we take to the break?
Well, Notaro has been kind of silent and unassuming, but looky here, she's tied for leading all scorers with 12, leads the Bell with 12. And then Maddie Petrulia is much more noticeable because her shots are so beautiful. And she just got that high arc with the great rotation. And they've been, both of them have been leading. So I like Notaro's game, and of course, what's not to like about Petrulia? She's an all-around player.
You bet. Double figures now in 8 of her last 9, finding her best stride in a Hope uniform. 41-26. Scott and I will be back shortly, and we'll go over some more numbers and see what's happening around the MIAA on this snowy Saturday. You're watching Hope Basketball on the Anchor Network.
Sports, like healthcare, requires commitment, teamwork, and excellence. That's why Hope College selected Holland Hospital and Shoreline Orthopedics to provide athletic training and physical therapy for all Hope College athletes. Get the care you deserve. Trust the team that exceeds expectations. The Holland Hospital and Shoreline Orthopedics Sports Medicine Collaborative.
Happy New Year. My name is Javon Willis, and I serve as a director for the Center for Diversity and Inclusion. And I would love to cordially invite you to the 2026 Civil Rights Lecture, Lead Like a King, Jesus, Justice, and the Courage to Confront. This year, we're really excited to have the Reverend Dr. Jamar Tisby, the New York Times bestselling author, to bring this presentation to the Holland community. And I hope that you will join us here, Divinity Chapel, Monday, January 19th at 7 p.m.
Hope students are challenged to dig deeper. They're challenged to find their calling and shape their future. They're taught to empower their talents, chase their dreams, and encouraged to make a difference. The Hope student body is ready to change the world.
Cancer, we're coming for you. Parkinson's, your days are numbered. Alzheimer's, we're zeroed in on you too. Because at Van Andel Institute, the world's best minds are working relentlessly to eradicate these diseases forever. By advancing the boldest innovations, achieving breakthroughs, and transforming lives. Because the most powerful way to fight diseases, never stop fighting. Van Andel Institute, innovation unleashed.
Some call it naive, others call it foolish. But hope has never been silenced by doubt. Hope is the unquiet heart, stirring, pounding, driving us towards something greater. It leans into what's wrong and lifts up what's right. It teaches, learns, discovers, imagines what could be, and brings it to life. Hope has to start somewhere. Why not here? Why not now? Why not us? The daring ones. Those who provoke possible, trigger curiosity, and incite joy. For us, hope is more than a word. It's a force, and we are its humble ambassadors. From the beginning to now, we don't just believe in hope, we dare to live it. Hope College, dare to hope.
Holland BPW is proud to support Hope Athletics and commitment to energy efficiency. It's easy for Holland BPW electric customers to get started with Home Energy 101 at hollandenergyfund.com. With Home Energy 101, learn the best ways to maximize efficiency and save on your utility bills. You also get a kit of energy-saving supplies valued at up to $300. Get started at hollandenergyfund.com today.
Hello, and welcome to Hope College. Here at Hope, we believe in the power of a broad liberal arts education where learning is not confined to the classroom. Our students get plenty of personal attention and can participate in many creative activities. At Hope, learning doesn't just prepare you for a degree, it prepares you for life.
Our academics lay the foundation for success, but it's our student life that truly brings the college experience to the next level, offering countless ways to get involved outside of the classroom. Our residential halls offer a strong community with residential assistants here to support students throughout their years of college. Here in downtown Holland, a block away from campus, there are many coffee shops, restaurants, and stores. Holland State Park is a short drive away from campus and is a beautiful place for a sunset in all 4 seasons or a swim early in the school year.
Faith Life at Hope is unique in that it takes a fully invitational approach. Hope College as an institution is decidedly Christian, but invites students of all faith backgrounds to be a part of Faith Life. We hope to see you on campus soon. Bye!
Are you thinking about buying, selling, or refinancing? Your title agency matters, and you have a choice. Lighthouse Title started in Holland, Michigan more than 20 years ago and has grown to over 45 locations. We are proud to be local in these communities. Visit Lighthouse Title for more information and use our online widget Louie the Lightkeeper to chat with someone today about how we can help you close on your new home.
Gentex is a tech company supplying electro-optical products to the global automotive, aerospace, and fire protection industries. With focused competencies in design, vision, displays, software, and more, we're always looking for engineering talent. For our direct hire hourly production positions, we run open interviews Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 at our 58 East Riley facility in Zeeland. And our facilities, benefits, and culture are everything you'd expect from a world-class employer. Now's the time to join Team Gentex.
If I do it, I'ma do it for the glory. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna do it for me. I kill it every day up in the morning. It's a blessing, so I do it for the glory. Hey, the glory. Hey, the glory. Hey, you know I do it for the glory. Hey, the glory. Hey, hey, when I do it, yeah, I do it for the glory.
I am very excited about this building, and the big reason why is the opportunity it's going to bring. Growth in class sizes, classes offered, more opportunity for alumni to come into the department and have a space to talk with us.
What excites me most is the opportunity to connect between students, freshmen and sophomores, being able to connect with upperclassmen right out of the get-go.
It's also going to allow students to feel connected to a building. I feel like it's going to provide like a sense of this is where I study, this is where I am talking to alumni, talking to professionals, talking to accountants. This is the place where it all happens.
I feel like this space will allow students to get creative in coming up with new ideas, not only in group settings with professors and collaborating in the classroom, but also in the shared workspaces that the building has to offer, and to come up with ideas that not only better the community, but could better society at large.
Coming into Hope, I really never thought about vocation or discernment, and it's one of the first things I learned about in my Introduction to Business course, and that really opened up my eyes to the way that faith can play into my calling with what I do in my career path. Hope's unique that it has a Christian representation, aside from just looking at business and profit and ROI, but also coming at it from a faith and moral perspective, and that's really guided me.
The most transformative part of my time here at Hope was seeing something that, from an outside perspective, seems so secular, that seems voided of the Christian faith, and how to actually intersect the Christian faith to become more successful on a day-to-day basis, and how you treat your coworkers, how you respond to your superiors, how you work with your customers.
The professors create a safe environment for us to ask questions, not only in the business field, but also how can we implement that as Christians. And I think as a business student, we have such a cool opportunity to play an impact on so many different people's lives. And so because of that, it's really important that we can understand servant leadership. Being able to travel down to Atlanta, Georgia, to meet the professionals at Chick-fil-A headquarters and really hear about their personal experience with servant leadership and how they're able to live out those Christian values within the business world was really impactful for me. When we walked in, we saw a 20-foot statue of Jesus washing Peter's feet, and for me that really just reminded me how much faith and business should and can go hand in hand.
Economics and business department has impacted me to a whole new level that I didn't think it would. The first thing is growth, and not only in like the knowledge and the skills that it provided me, but also the faith aspect of it, the community aspect, the network aspect of it. The way the professors and the students in the economics and business department interact is just very personal. Coming into Hope, my faith wasn't the strongest. And after, 4 years later, it's the strongest it's ever been.
I feel like I would describe the business department attributes in terms of excellence, in terms of curriculum, but also their care and compassion for their students. And I feel like that comes through, and hopefully will come through as community members come into the business building and interact with students there, and get to see those relationships up front.
It is such an important time right now for receiving a college education, especially what Hope stands for and their mission to create an excellent but faithful student, and I think that's exactly what the world needs right now.
I'm personally grateful for the people in the community who are willing to extend their generosity to the Hope Business Department in making the building a possibility. This is something that has been dreamed about, and to be able to turn that into a reality is really exciting. And as a student who is going to be leaving, I can really reflect and say that knowing that there are people in our community who are willing to take a chance on us and to invest in our future and the future of a Christian institution who's prioritizing business makes me grateful and solidifies that I made the right choice coming to Hope. I chose Hope in the Business and Economics Department because I could sense the care that faculty and staff had for their students, and this building really just represents that it's not just Hope faculty and staff who care about our students, but it's also people out there in the community who are willing to invest in future generations.
Look at that beautiful snow as it grazes the landscape of the eastern shore of Hope College, as the sun will soon be setting on another cold, wintry day. I don't know, I feel like maybe I need to read a Robert Frost poem or something now. Scott Vanderstoop along with Mike Coleman with second half basketball action. The Flying Dutch lead the Bells of St. Mary's 41-26. The domination in the paint continues, although it hasn't been widened. Hope with 20 points in the paint versus the Bells with 12. The Bells are led by Ella Notaro, 12 points. The Dutch are led by Maddie Petrulia with 12. A lot of balance in terms of playing time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13 players played for Hope College. Mike Coleman, I have a question that has nothing to do with basketball.
Yes, I'm all ears.
What did you think of those nuts that those Jill Vanderstoop post-Christmas nuts?
Well, I had 3 of them right before we went on air for the broadcast, and I liked them so much I decided that I better save them for my drive home tonight, so they're safely tucked away. They're delicious.
I think they are so good. I would think perhaps the DEA might classify it as an addictive drug.
I think you're absolutely true.
There's a pile of those on my kitchen island, and I said, Jill, we got to get rid of these. She goes, well, who do you want to give them to? I said, well, give some to Coleman.
Yeah, give some to Coleman.
So.
He's from a big family. He'll just swipe at it without thinking twice.
Anyway,
thanks.
So you're absolutely welcome. And thank you for the Diet Pepsi, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks for standing in line. Apparently, the broadcaster's executive rest station and dressing room is under repair as we waited in line for our Diet Pepsi. I thought that the executive dressing room would be ready, but it is not. Well, we soldier on.
To be fair, we had 1,900 fans here for the men's game, so a lot of them have stayed for the women. So the concession line was very large. I used my burst of speed to get up there and try and get into the line.
Still got your wheels.
Still got my wheels. Got my new wheels. 41-26. Hope with the first touch of the second half. Leah Richards, a rare three-point attempt. Trying to get the offensive rebound, but losing the handle as Notaro comes up with it. She's had a good ball game.
And a good box out by Liv Fry to hold Taryn Maynard off that ball.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Fry, good-looking freshman. Takeaway by Hope. Not what St. Mary wants. Down by 15, just underway second half. Petrulia. In that first half, 3 of 5 from deep. Also chipped in 5 rebounds, so she's playing a complete game.
If I'm doing the math right, I only see 4 members of the Bells roster from the Hoosier State.
Is that right?
A credit to Coach Rob for his out-of-state recruiting. He's got some Michiganders in there. He's got some Ohioans, a couple of Missouri, and a couple from Illinois. So good for him for having a large recruiting base.
And it's a fine college, that's for sure. 3-ball on the way. Check that 2-ball. Nicely done. Anna Richards chips in. She's got 6. First points of the second half belong to the Flying Dutch. Yep, a good recruiting base. As responding is passing on the other end. And if you're Rob Hoffman, head coach now in his second year for St. Mary's, will they win MIAA in his tenure? Hard to say, but you know they will be as competitive as possible. He's getting the most out of his talent pool right now. And they've been scrappy in their games. Feed down low. Anna had it poked away. Feed inside your sister. Leah finish and 1 coming up. Boy, you play hot defense for 90% of that possession, and Hope finds a way to put the biscuit in the basket.
You know, what's interesting is I'm looking back here, Mike. It was the end of the first half. So this will be, we'll see if this is a Stoop prognostication. The first half ended, want to get my bearings right here, 33-26 Hope led at the end of the first half against the Bells. And in the second half, they outscored them 49-16. So where's that 40-point victory come from? It comes in quarters 3 and 4. So this is going to be the reckoning for Coach Rob, and to see if he can hold off what they weren't able to hold off in their game on December 6th.
Well, absolutely true. That is the makeup of this Hope team. That's what they will do. Yeah, you got to give Adrian credit on Wednesday night at Adrian. Hope only had a 4-point lead into that fourth quarter, and the Bulldogs made Hope work a little harder than they had to, or they wanted to, we should say.
We might have a slip and fall risk here. Oh, there we go. It's one of the halftime balls. Almost got loose on the court, but a heady play by the St. Mary's assistant.
How about
showing
that?
Her youth and speed, and she was able to intercept that ball.
She probably played in college.
I would think so.
Sure. Heading to the line is Nataro. Nataro, the sophomore at 5'8". This is a very young ball club. Just 2 seniors on the roster. Nicole Connolly, which we have not seen, and Hannah Outlaw, which we have. They started 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore in the starting lineup, and a junior. Second one by Nataro, too strong. Rebound Viss.
Nataro not able to. She's 6 for 9 from the field goal line, from the field goal marks, but hasn't been able to find the basket on the free throw.
Viss kicks it out. Petrulia for 3. You betcha! That has been the money. Petrulia, her 4th triple of the afternoon.
Good steal by Maynard, coming back the other way as Richards.
Maynard trying to feed Leah down low. They had to kick it out, work the perimeter. Almost a litmus test by Petrulia, but she thinks better of it. As hitting the deck is Maynard trying to make a move on the basket. We got a Bells foul. It will be on Ella Andre.
That is her second team.
Not a shooting foul, a little surprised. Hannah Outlaw in the game now for St. Mary's.
She had a nice first half. Very aggressive, athletic.
14 on the shot clock. Maynard backs it up with the left-handed dribble. Now works right elbow, kicks it across Petrulia. Heat check for 3. Oh, man! Yahtzee!
Anna Richards.
Was that Anna? Oh, I thought it was Maddie. My bad. But Yahtzee nonetheless. Got to stick with the Yahtzee. 3 ball starting to heat up for Hope in the second half. Good drive. Nataro once again. She's been as aggressive as Outlaw and trying to make things happen. And that'll be a Hope malfeasance.
Hope on the night is 7 for 14, but they've hit their last 2. One by Petrulia, one by Richards. 7 out of 14, 20 for 36 overall for field goals. So above the 50% mark.
Thank you, Stu. How about 8 3-pointers made by Petrulia in the last 3 games? And she had a 4 3-point game. That was against Ohio Wesleyan in the win on the 15th. 52-30.
Notaro back in the line. She gets her first one to go.
She's been the lone bright spot offensively. Give her 14. Looks like we have a lane violation.
No, I think we had a rebounding foul, and it's going to go on Outlaw. That's her. That's the aggressive nature of the play that I like about her. But she just was. I think she went through her. It was a good box out by Hope. Outlaw kind of went through the block out, picked up her first personal.
3 fouls for Fry, the freshman for St. Mary, the only one in foul trouble for Hope. Leah Richards with 3 fouls. The kick out. Lauren Leach in the game and a reach-in foul. They trying to feed Anna. She's triple teamed by 2 Bell jerseys, and that foul will be on Notaro.
Notaro picked up the foul, but before that she had a really nice drop down where she was able to intercept and disrupt a pass, and that actually put Hope out of sync in their line, kind of out of system. But then Notaro couldn't get around the post player and picked up the foul, and that is her first.
For a team shooting 69% on the year from the free throw line. 2 misses, 2 rare misses by Anna Richards. Still up by 22. Approaching the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter here in Holland. Nice to have you along on this snowy Saturday. Good takeaway on the tip. Good defensive play by the Flying Dutchman's Katie Blasey. 3 ball on the way. Yes, Maddie Petrulli with a season high 5 3-pointers made in 7 attempts. Give her 18. And her hot streak continues. Hope back in the zone. And a reach in.
You know, you mentioned the free throws. As you said, 69% on the year. Not great. I mean, you kind of want to be in the 70s. But for today, well below that season average. 5 of 11, 45.
Yeah, which really factors in. We talked about in the men's broadcast, too, about Hope didn't shoot well, but they had a 14 free throw attempt advantage, and they made their free throws. So sometimes in close games, it's all about those. May not factor into this one, but good pull, Scott.
Outlaw had a nice drive to the bucket there. She was able to get between 2 defenders, but just couldn't quite get the kiss off the glass. But good turnover there. Good defense by the Bells. Back the other way, Notaro. And then to Outlaw.
Yeah, the hook pass goes out of bounds, but I like, you know, you get spurts, you get little bursts of like really good play by St. Mary's. Good teams just spread it out over 40 minutes of work. Now they try full court pressure.
Special shout out. You know, I'm pro referee, but Don Slater and Bruce Walterhouse. Longtime veterans of women's basketball, but I've not seen Claire Borsheim work before, but she's a young woman out on the court. She's the 3rd official, and she's done a terrific job. So love to see good young officials out there, and so hats off to Claire.
Yep, got to give the referees, the officials, some love for sure, as Anna Richards with a 3 ball. How many years have you officiated, Scott?
I did college for 5, and I've done high school since 1996, so I guess I'm doing my 30th year.
That's great.
Well, it depends who you ask.
You do what you love, and the money will never follow.
Sometimes my wife will like, what do you mean you don't have a game on Friday night? You mean you're gonna have to sit here with me? So what are we gonna do?
I don't know what to do. We could, my wife and I almost grabbed our grandson's Battleship game we're gonna play because I had a rare Friday night up, but I digress. Time out on the court, Hope in control with 4:25 left in the 3rd.
Gentex is a tech company supplying electro-optical products to the global automotive, aerospace, and fire protection industries. With focused competencies in design, vision, displays, software, and more, we're always looking for engineering talent. For our direct hire hourly production positions, we run open interviews Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 at our 58 East Riley facility in Zeeland. and our facilities, benefits, and culture are everything you'd expect from a world-class employer. Now's the time to join Team Gentex.
Welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse. Hope College with a commanding lead midway through the third. Still got a nice crowd here. Some of them have left to maybe beat the weather. Some of them, but you just get the sense it's kind of a long day. Probably for people like you and for the athletic staff. And it isn't, you know, if it were a close game, my guess is the crowd would get into it. But it's yet another Hope College women's basketball game where they tend to have a fairly comfortable lead, and people are comfortably sitting watching it.
Yes, they are. Yeah, a nice crowd still on hand for sure, but we had almost 2,000 for the men's game. As a free throw by Katie Blasey. She's got 3 points. Well, I've got some updated scores if you're interested, folks. Trine defeats Adrian in women's basketball 68-50. So Trine remains undefeated, 7-0 in the standings. But the biggest surprise, Stoop sprung this on me during the broadcast. I did not know that Albion in women's action defeated Calvin today. And now Calvin falls to 4-3, and Albion now moves to 4-3, and they're tied for 4th place in the MIAA, that gooey middle that you were talking about, Stu.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a mess to figure out who's going to be the 4, 5, and 6 teams in the tournament for sure. Maybe the 3, 4, 5, and 6 teams, as there will be a lot of jockeying around. There's still, you know, the women's, because they have the 9 teams, it isn't as elegant as Wednesday, Saturday for 7 weeks, and then you play the tournament, because you got that every night a team has a bye, and so you got to start it. I mean, this conference game happened on December 6th, Mike Coleman. It just seems so odd, but you got to be ready to go. And I don't know who's going to end up at 3, 4, 5, and 6, but they played some more. You know, they played more games, but they still are really only halfway done with the season, because they play a double round robin, which gives you 16 contests.
Yeah, in your word, and that's an excellent description. It is not elegant, that's for sure. It's just so odd to have that non-conference game in early December. By the way, Alyssa Matuza, the senior out of Troy, Michigan. I stand corrected. There are 3 seniors on this team, so I apologize. She's getting her first action at the 3:30 mark.
That foul is going to go on Bailey Stewart. She's a freshman from. Oh, I should have put the anchor team on this one. Cement City, Michigan.
Oh yeah,
you heard of it?
I have.
I bet we got some people from Cement City watching right now.
You know, I looked that up a while back when I was looking at the roster, and it escapes me. But I'm gonna put the research department on it right now. We got some substitutions
coming into the game. We've got people with long hair whose numbers are hard to see.
That's right.
Jillian Sorrell in and Maddie Petrulia back in. Hope leads 60-31. As George Blaha would say, 3:25 to go in the third.
Takeaway. St. Mary's with numbers. Kick out. 3 on the way. Rainbow. Good look short.
That was Ella Andre. We haven't mentioned her name yet. Sophomore from Spring Lake. How fun for her. It's a home game for her. She's got her family here, I have no doubt.
Absolutely.
She's a Spring Lake Laker. Probably trying to think, Coach Bill Core would not have been coaching the girls at that point. He's been a long-time Boy Scout. There was a time when he was doing both, but not during Ella's time. Spring Lake's got a good girls team this year.
Yes, they do.
Ref them earlier in the year, and they handled a very good Big Rapids team. So Spring Lake.
By the way, I have a Cement City answer. Where is your guess where Cement City, Michigan is?
I'm going to go with it's near either APEC or Brown City in the thumb.
That's a fine guess. It is 14 miles south of Jackson, Michigan.
Oh.
South Central.
Nope. That was not on my bingo card. I would have guessed that was more like Blue Water area, but no. Cement City.
I really enjoy, especially in there's very few places in Michigan, I think, calling games and doing this, that towns you have not heard of, but every once in a while you get surprised, and I love looking that up. to find out where these kids are from.
And here's the deal, Coleman. If you had given me more than 17 minutes,
I gave you 18 minutes to get ready for this
It wasn't
broadcast.
enough. I'm slow. I needed more time to prep. How about Farwell, Michigan? Remember from football? I'm going to have to look up who was from Farwell. Population 826.
You know where? It's by Coleman, Michigan. Did you know that?
I didn't. Is Farwell from near Coleman?
Yes, it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did look up the restaurants in Farwell, Michigan, and I was going to propose while we were announcing the Wisconsin lacrosse playoff game that you and I this summer go to a road trip and catch one of those restaurants in Farwell. But the game was so intense, I thought, this is on ESPN. I can't be messing up. I can't be messing around with this Farwell, Michigan thing.
We can mess up without being on ESPN.
But I think that we ought to commit to making a road trip this summer to Farwell because, I mean, if you drive in from Empire every day to do these games,
that's true.
Farwell is like a home game for you.
Do you think football player Jake Punch's family would take us in?
Oh, that's right. It was Punch's. Yeah,
it was Jake
I would
Punch's,
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe not.
Well, I mean, we could drive. But there were some very cool restaurants there. My favorite, there were a couple of, and they had great names, just kind of standard ones like the Birchwood and Conley's Cafe, but then there were two of them, the Trapdoor Speakeasy, and then the one I really want to go to on Main Street, Hammer and Hank's Bar. I think the hamburger there at Hammer and Hank's is going to be second to none.
It's a 31-ounce prime cut of ground beef.
Can I get a promise that you're going to go to Farwell with me before next football season?
Buy me a Hammer and Hank's T-shirt in a nice size medium. I'm in. I get fries too. Three ball off the side iron. Offensive rebound. Passano turnaround. Nicely done. Couldn't get it to go.
Great rebound though. Good athletic play by Passano.
Yep, saw her last year. Good effort in a loss. Good athlete from Grand Rapids Catholic Central. In traffic to Smith, weaving and bobbing, and she draws contact with 76 seconds remaining in the third here at Hope.
That foul went on MIAA. She's a junior from St. Charles, Illinois. Nice suburb of the greater Chicago area.
Number 2, Kate Restovich.
You talked about St. Mary able to draw from neighboring Midwest states, but Hope pretty diverse this year. Minnesota, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Oregon. Portland, Oregon. Morgan Miller, we have not seen her today, but the junior guard is from the Great Northwest.
How cool is that? And I heard you guys did a great job on the men's broadcast. I do want to give credit. I do want to give credit to myself here, if I may.
Sure.
Let me pull out my horn. Avery Sanchez wants to be a psychology major. And with whom did he visit on his official visit here with his parents? Professor Scott Vanderstoep.
Is that
I don't want to say I closed the deal, but Avery Sanchez is wearing a Hope uniform and majoring in psychology. So.
Well, Scott, you get a major assist on that one.
I think so.
I will grab your wrist and pat yourself on the back for that one in case you don't have the range.
All taken care of.
First free throw out
that's
the
a
mark.
nice team they've got, though, with a couple of young freshmen.
Yes.
I mean, I just feel like every week they're getting a little better as a team. I think I told Coach Mitchell he was coming back from you may remember Dennis Towns.
Oh, yes.
Had a death in his family, and just like Coach Mitchell, he spent the whole day driving to the other side of the state to go to the funeral and to love Dennis and his family. Well, I just said to him, oh, wow, what do we got there? Another triple.
Career high for Manny Petrulia, 6th 3-ball of the day.
And I said, Coach, he said, we just got to get we got to get better. We got good. I said, Coach, you just need to go 1-0 every Wednesday and Saturday, and that's all you need. Because I love that perspective. And, they're just finding ways to win.
They are. We talked about that in the broadcast as a reach in foul on Hope. They don't shoot the ball particularly well. They give up a few points. Teams shoot decent against them, but they're 4-1 in games that are tight, 3 points or less. So they find a way to grind it out. You guys got guys like Parker Hovey, Brendan Cargo, Marcus Warman, scrappy leaders that start, and that scrappiness just kind of leaks to the rest of the team.
Annie Restovich at the line. We're in bonus in the third quarter as she knocks them both down.
Yeah,
she's
she's
had
a
a nice
fine
game
player.
today. That's her 10th on the day, and she's played 23 minutes, more than any other player for the Bells. She's had a great night.
And Hope has been able to contain St. Mary's leading scorer, Kate Restovich, who averages 13, just 3 points on 1 of 6 shooting. That's what Hope men did today against Alma. Corbin Heitzman was really limited in his productivity. He came in averaging 27 points a game in the last 3, and Hope shut him down. Kick out. Good move in the corner. Triple try. Skirts off. Rebound weak side. DeSmit with 1 second left. Gives it a haul. Almost went down.
We got 3 in the books. Hope College with a commanding lead, 68-36. We appreciate you joining us. Come back for the final frame. You're watching Hope Basketball on the Anchor Network.
If I do it, I'ma do it for the glory. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna do it for me. I kill it every day up in the morning. It's a blessing, so I do it for the glory. The glory, the glory. You know I do it for the glory. The glory, when I do it, yeah, I do it for the glory.
Yeah, my name is Travis Williams. I'm the CEO of the ODC Network. I graduated from Hope in 1998. I studied biology, and then I also played football. In order to be successful, people really need more than just the academic experience, but they need people to come alongside them and help them, coach them, mentor them. I find that Hope College has just been one of the best examples of being able to do that anywhere.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope stories of transformational impact.
Welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse. We've got some important statistics to pass along. First of all, the census of Cement City, Michigan, 424 people. Thanks to Steve Secor for that. And on to other statistics. Maddie Petrulia having a day.
She certainly is. How about a career high 23 for Maddie? That's a season high for any Hope player. And her 6 3-pointers are a career high. What else am I missing on that,
No, I
Stu?
think that's right. She had highest points of this year. This is her career high. And I want to say that may have been her career high in total points. But I don't remember if
it is. Yes, it is. It's a career high for her. And a nice 3-ball by Annie Restovich, give her 14.
Restovich hits 357 from 3 points. You know, she missed that one right as the third quarter ended. But that's absolutely the person that Coach Rob wants shooting that ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's hit 4 of 8 from deep today. Anna Restovich and Nataro have been really the straws for the drink for St. Mary's today. 28 of the 39 points. And Hope is at Balance City. Besides Petrulia, Leah Richards with 13, Anna with 12. 3-ball short by this as she smacks her hands together. Offensive rebound. No good, but an offensive board. A great play by Blasey. Found this on the streak, and Sydney's going to the line.
And this was the one who fired up the 3-pointer. And then, you know, the lost art of blocking out. Teams don't block out anymore, and she was able to slice her way in there. Good play by the senior from South Christian, the senior sailor.
Senior sailor, that is true. I think proper box out. And, you know, during a broadcast, too, when somebody does a really good performance of a box out, I always seem to, I like mentioning it because it is a lost art.
It is. Just crash and jump. Just run and grab the ball.
That's a good gig if you can get it, but the fundamentals still work as we see Hope now in the zone.
Look in the zone again here in the fourth quarter.
Bobby Knight's rolling around in his grave. Nobody's boxing out.
Nobody's boxing out, and they're playing zone.
A rare basket by Kate Restovich. Give her 5, the leading scorer on this team, averaging 13. Hope in control 70-41. They're trying to win their 3rd straight and 14th and 16 tries. This little 8-foot, how about that? That's such a tough shot from 8 from the baseline.
Great medium range shooter. She can play. She kind of owns that middle perimeter there. This and Maynard, the only starters out on the court right now for Hope.
Good flip shot. Liv Fry, the freshman out of Homestead High School, home of Teddy and Chris Ray, former Hope College basketball players. And Brian Morehouse wants a timeout. We'll keep it right here. But Liv Fry, I'm glad she made that basket. She's a freshman that's third in the league in assists and almost 4 per game. She'll give you 5 points, 5 rebounds. And another one of those young players for Rob Hoffman's St. Mary's team. I think is really going to have a great career in a Bell's uniform.
I think the future is bright for this team. I think they are, they went from not being particularly strong this year to being more of a disruptor. And I mean, I can see him if he continues this way of making the tournament sometime. I mean, it isn't out of the question this year. Speaking of Homestead High School, by the way, we've got some reporting on this. You would be less familiar with it than perhaps some of the people who filled the Voss in the fall. But there's another really good athlete from Homestead High School, and that is volleyball star Tess Herendeen, transfer from Appalachian State, who was a terrific libero for us here at Hope College. And in case being a good volleyball player wasn't enough, her senior year she's getting her BS in chemistry. And she took physical chemistry, probably the hardest class on Hope's campus. She took it in the fall while she was, everyone's running off the court. Don Slayer said, no, you're going to get back here. So they're going to have the inbound. But anyway, Tess Herendeen, terrific volleyball player, terrific student, and another Homestead High School graduate.
So what I'm hearing, too, besides a Homestead grad, the epitome of the student athlete, taking a workload like that and playing a sport. I've always been impressed by the college athlete, able to maintain good grades.
D3 life, baby, D3 life.
Guy, bounce pass. Right wing, filled it. Brunsberg from Guy. Chloe Brunsberg with her first basket, comes with 7:37 remaining in this one.
Brunsberg was the first sub of the game for Coach Morehouse. She's been in and out, as have most of them. She's played 13 minutes so far, but yep, she's on the board.
And a nice steal by Blaze. I've enjoyed Blaze's game, too. She's got 3 rebounds in 8 minutes, couple baskets. Bailey Stewart, Cement City. Product up with the left hand. Sweet touch off the glass.
Josie DeSmits averaged 14.9 minutes per game. She has played in all 15 of Hope's games this year. It looks like we are going to have a 30-second timeout, which I believe will convert to a media timeout. So we will take what is likely our last break of the day. Hope with a commanding lead, 7:08 to go. You're watching Hope Basketball on the Anchor Network.
It's no secret. The best way to learn about Hope College is to spend time on our campus. The Hope admissions team invites you to a personalized visit experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope admissions office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
Hope College, 77-43. Not to say that the Vanderstoop prediction is being supported here, but what was about a 15-point lead, which was very similar to the first time they met, is turning out to be a much more lopsided game, as it has been a Hope College half, to be sure, as the Dutch have opened up a 34-point lead, over the Bells. The feisty Bells, who have worked very hard and played very hard, but they have been outscored 36-17 so far here in the second half, and that's been the difference.
And they've been stung by the Hope College long ball. Hope 11 of 21 today. Maddie Petrilli with a career high 6 3-balls made. Is nice drop down 3-ball by Anna Restovich. And Petrilli has hit 11 of her last 17 3-pointers. She's having the best stretch of her career in a Hope uniform.
Restovich played 27 minutes. She's got 14 points. She and Nataro each with 14 for the Bells.
Brunsberg tied up. She tried to muscle one. Put back off the mark. Guy can't get it to go. And St. Mary's comes away with it.
Good fast break here. And going to draw some contact. At the media timeout, Emma Yakey, a junior from St. Charles East High School in suburban Chicago, and Lily Miller, 6'2" senior from Mona Shores, checking in for the Dutch.
Boy, I'm looking at head coach Rob Hoffman for St. Mary's.
You'd think we were 4 minutes to go in a 1-point game. I love his energy.
Coaches coach to the very end, whether they're up 50, down 50. Don't they?
I have nothing but respect for that. It might have warranted a foul, but that's another matter.
Yeah, I mean, do you have as a referee, as an official, I mean, other than, a bad word, is there something, do you have that, is that a clear line, the Mason-Dixon line, between getting a technical and escaping without getting a technical? Or
no,
is it just all
it isn't.
organic?
And there's, unlike basket interference, which most officials will agree on, I think there's a lot of variation in that. I think the high school rule book has mirrored the college rule book, in that it now allows officials to give warnings, to give bench warnings to the head coach only, which is something the college game has had now for a few years, and that's very helpful. So, but, in the same way that you come into a game and say, boy, I should have called that a block instead of a charge, you sometimes come in and say, I should have called that a technical instead of not a technical. But it doesn't happen that often, fortunately. Block charges happen more.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's probably is that the toughest one to call? The block? The block?
Often it is. Yeah. I think the college game has done well with the restricted area. So when the secondary defender gets into that restricted area, that's automatic. Doesn't matter what kind of legal guarding position. If you're on the ground, if you're vertical, if you're in the air, you can do it. But yeah, it's a hard one. College players are better at playing defense, and they're better at playing through some contact. So sometimes it's a little harder in high school because they don't have as much experience.
Good defensive play, trying to tip that one away as Emma Yakey. And that's going to go by way of Hope College. By the way, Anna Restovich, her day is done, but she did her part. 17 points for the Bells, 5 of 9 from deep in her 28 minutes, and now they're going to reverse the call. And I've also got a sub for St. Mary's. Kennedy Schrock, the freshman out of South Bend, Indiana, wears number 30. She'll get her first action of the afternoon. Hope has opened up the bench, everybody getting in the action, and the 3-ball on the way. Good look, short. Offensive rebound.
This is only Schrock's 5th game, so she's getting an opportunity to play.
Yep, works hard in practice. Good rebound by Lily Miller, the 6'2" senior out of Norton Shores, just down the road. Inside, Miller lofts one up. Contact, is Guy going after it. We got a jump ball situation that'll favor the Flying Dutch, and a whole host of new Dutch players will check in. See if we can get everybody. Number 32, Sydney Bodie, the freshman out of Baldwin, Missouri. And we got a timeout. We'll have to give you those numbers.
I believe in football we used to call this roster expansion time.
That's right. It is roster expansion. We'll keep it right here. Our next broadcast of men's basketball will be a week from today, as we have the rivalry game at 7 o'clock right here at DeVos Fieldhouse. And as far as women's action, well, let's get to women's sports. I'm checking the schedule. I'm doing the best I can, Scott Vanderstoop. I know Hope Women play on Wednesday. Where they play, I'll know in about 7 seconds. They're going to be hosting Kalamazoo. That's a 7 o'clock start here on the Anchor Network.
I'm excited for you guys to be on the call there next Saturday. I've already got my season ticket invitation to what I can only consider to be a group of high rollers who will be gathering up there in some classroom.
In the inner sanctum?
Well, it's inner sanctum at night. During the day, we call it a classroom.
Room 107.
107.
You're going to have like some finger sandwiches and some light snacks?
I think so. I would think that we might have some coffee.
Some maybe some sausages and barbecue sauce are always nice with a toothpick.
Well, or maybe we'll go Dutch and we'll do like pea soup and pigs in the blanket. Who knows?
Jeez. I'll eat a sandwich before I make it. Driving, scooping, and a missing. Good effort by Stewart. let's get the rest of these players. Josie DeSmit in the game, and I'm trying, Mom. Jillian Sorrell.
Katie Blasey.
Katie Blasey. Thank you, Stu. And I'm missing one. Nice
Sydney
drive.
Bode.
Thank you.
Baldwin, Missouri.
Yeah, we had
Baldwin, Missouri. That's a cool town.
We had a baseball player from Baldwin, Missouri, a left-handed bat, which I'll text you at 3 in the morning when I remember his name.
From this past season. Okay.
Yes, and
Very
I
good.
can't remember his name. Good power hitter. But it's interesting how we get those pockets. A couple players from Baldwin. Fort Wayne, Homestead High School.
Homestead
There's a nice
High School,
pipeline.
that's right.
Good steal. Heading the other way is Sorrell. Double clutch, yes! Going to the line. Sorrell trying to do it on both ends of the court, the steal and score.
That is, just checking here, Sorrell she was in the first half as well. She's only played 8 minutes, but that will be her first points of the game unless we have it updated, and she converts the old-fashioned 3-point.
All these
freshmen from Grand Haven.
And these kids work so hard. It's just nice to have them get some action, and that bench for Hope is all sorts of excited. She's going to be a good ball player. You know, if you're playing as a freshman and a sophomore under Brian Morehouse, you must have exceptional talent, because it's just such rigorous opportunity to try and break into his starting 10.
It takes a lot, and it, you know, if you think about someone like Sid Viss, like, you know, she played as a freshman, she didn't play as much, and she just kind of crawled her way through, and now she's one of the team leaders. By the way, I think she has exited the building, but we had you would appreciate this. We had who was that?
That's Sorrell again. She scored 8 against Kalamazoo. That's her career high a couple weeks ago.
Terrific for her.
Now
nice
she's
play.
got 7.
We had a national champion in the house, Mike Coleman, someone you would remember because you followed that team with Chandler. Sid Muller, here with her parents.
The original Sid the Kid.
Sid the Kid, she was terrific. That'll send a foul by Hope will send St. Mary's to the line. But yeah, it was great to see her and her mom and dad here. And just love how all of those people can come back. And by the way, for the Glenn Van Weeren tournament, decades worth of Hope College players coming back. They're all coming up to me. Hi, Professor. It's like, oh, golly, you got to help me. It's David Crombie. Oh, right, David. Or Colton Overway, or lots of others. So it was great to see them all.
I stood between 2 players, and I said, guys, you getting taller? It was Ryan Gamm and a gentleman from Preston Granger.
Yep.
I said, good God, guys, I must be shrinking because they're just towering over me. So it's good to see those guys.
I'm excited for your call on Saturday. That's going to be a big game. You got Casey with you?
I think I have Matt Wayner, the voice of Hope Women's Basketball. He'll be joining me on that. And that's the first time that we've had a chance to call that game. Put back on the miss.
That's right.
Lily Miller with the basket, because WGVU was under contract to call that game for years, and contract not renewed. So the only time I get a chance to call Hope Calvin is when it was at Calvin. Now we'll have it on the Anchor Network for you.
Emma Yakey with an attempt, and then Grayson Guy with a putback. Neither one, and it looks like we'll get, neither one could convert. Looks like we got timeout for a sub. So we'll get a couple of other subs in. Keep everybody on the floor. I think it's Kara Kucharski and also Caroline Langworthy getting some final minutes here. 2.5 to go. Langworthy has played in 16 games, and Kucharski has only played in 4. So good opportunity for her. Kucharski, Lockport, Illinois, Providence Catholic.
I believe Lockport is in the northern quadrant of the state, if I'm not mistaken.
Up near Northern Illinois University, maybe. Yeah.
Yep. My dad grew up in Belvedere, just outside of Rockford. Lived in Woodstock for a while, if you've ever heard of Woodstock, Illinois. I believe Orson Welles is from there, if I'm not mistaken.
No kidding. Nice play. What a great pass from Emma Yakey, who found Grayson Guy.
Guy with 4. How about 20 assists on 32 made baskets? That's facilitation and good defense on the other end. My goodness, everybody who's played has scored except for Emma Yakey and Morgan Miller. But I do not, oh, Morgan Miller is in the game right now. You have the Portland, Oregon product.
I think this is, so it looked like there was a little confusion about whether there was team control by Hope. Coach Morehouse wanted to get subs in, and they honored it. But there was some confusion as to whether or not there was team control. At this point, nice to just give an opportunity to get somebody in the game. Nice block by St. Mary's coming back the other way.
Yeah, Lang with the rejection and now spinning around and poking it away. Good play by Miller. Lily Miller and Morgan Miller, no relation. Lily Miller from Norton Shores, Michigan. Kick out. Good pass. 3-ball. Too strong. Offensive rebound. Trying to feed inside, poked away. Good defense by St. Mary's, playing to the very end with 75 seconds left.
And I'd just like to say, Coleman, I'm glad you and Wayner have that game. I mean, I love Bakita. He's a great guy. I've never met Drew Neitzel. I'm sure he's a great guy, but they got nothing on you, man. Give me Coleman and Wayner any night. Well, Rutledge, CR, man, he had a great call today.
CR should be on ESPN. I tell you, you know, I've known Brett and Drew for a long time, the ultimate professionals. There are no nicer guys in this planet. But I'll tell you, as much game prep as you can do, Stu, you know this. You follow a team all year long, whether it's football, lacrosse, basketball, soccer, you know these kids.
Yep.
And I think, if anything, if not the polish that they give you, we have the knowledge about where they've been, where they're going, what they've done this year. And that's what I love about it.
And one of the things I liked, and we need to commit to doing that again, is talking with our opponent coaches this year in football. That was really helpful when we got a chance to do that.
Agreed. Yeah, coming up, I believe Hope College opens up against Denison on the road, out of a team out of Columbus, Ohio area. I don't think Hope's faced Denison in football as far as I've been around calling games. In fact, I know that.
Yeah, that'll be an important win. I mean, that's one you definitely want to come away with a W. That looks like that was going to do it, as St. Mary's is going to hold the ball for the end of it, and Hope College will advance with a 90-48 victory. They move ahead with only one loss in the MIAA and 2 losses overall. And they stay a half a game away from the, well, I guess full game away from the Trine Thunder, as those two will continue to battle for first place in the MIAA, a typical Hope College Flying Dutch victory. They just kind of wear you down, Mike Coleman.
Well, they really do. It was a game where Hope took command early on, unlike last game when St. Mary's had the 1-point lead at the end of the first. Hope just had 15 players scored today. The 3-ball was working for them, and St. Mary's really had no answers defensively as they struggled shooting in the first half. And this one was just a formality. But, you look ahead. I know we have Calvin next week, but Trine and Hope played the final regular season game against each other. Still a lot of basketball as Trine won today. Calvin lost today, so Trine and Hope are really the two-headed monster of this MIAA heading in, and I got a feeling it's going to all come down to the wire on the 21st right here at DeVos Fieldhouse.
And how cool was it to watch Coach Rob Hoffman, Coach Brian Morehouse slapping each other on the back. At the end of the game, they both have tremendous respect for each other. They both are very successful at what they do. Coach Morehouse has built a program. Coach Hoffman has been a part of a winning program and is trying to build one here. And just love to see that. At the end of the day, it's all just a game. And two great guys who have kept it in perspective.
Absolutely true. Before we say goodbye, some final numbers. St. Mary's shoots just 34% today, but they had a good second quarter where they shot 54% and 6 of 23 for 26% deep. Hope College, great shooting today, 52% overall, and the 3-ball worked for him, Scott, 11 of 23 for 48%. In this one.
As we leave, we want to thank Director Audra Woolman, replay Jake Johnson, On the cameras, Esther Queen Coombson was on the men's game. And on the women's game, Genesis Lambrick, Phil Ortiz, Quinn Vanderkamp. And I can see they're all packing up. They're like, guys, we've been here 5 hours. It's time to go. Fair enough. We want to thank our executive producer and the supervisor, the Ed McMahon, to our Johnny Carson, Mr. Steve Secor, filling in for Freddie Velasquez today, and he always does great work. If you want to know anything about Formula One racing, Steve Secor is your man. Mike, thanks for letting me tag along, and we'll see you next Saturday. Have a great call against Hope Calvin men's.
Yeah, thanks, Stoop. And finally, Maddie Petrulia, one for the books. Season high 23 points for any Hope player this year. She chips in with a career high of those 23 and a career high 6 3-pointers made as 3 in double figures for the Flying Dutch as they win at home. Until Wednesday's game against Kalamazoo. Tip-off time at 7 o'clock. You can join us as always on the Anchor Network. Thanks for joining in to the doubleheader this afternoon. Hope sweeps against Alma and St. Mary's. Until next week, good night, everyone.